Reza Riffs, welcome to another season. Season 9. We're going to rock and roll. Before we do, 2020 was a tough year. 2021, we're hoping to keep bringing you laughter on our part and keep making you smile on our part, and we shall do that. Who needs in-studio interviews right now when we got Zoom, and I'm starting to figure it out. Zoom is like Skype. That's what I figured out. But it's named Zoom. Anyways, a couple of things. Since I'm not working right now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not. Comedy is dead. Dead to laughs, I guess. Things aren't opening up. But you can support me by buying my special, Keith Reza, Make It Happen, on iTunes. It's on YouTube, and I think it's on Amazon and Spotify, so support that. You could also book me on Cameo, www.cameo.com/Keith Reza. I'll do a shout out for you. Say whatever you want, and I'll make it funny. I've only booked like 7 or 8 cameos, so those who have booked me, I really appreciate it. Your support means a lot, and let's try and get those up. I would like to get to 10 in 2021. 10 is the goal. Alan Lee will not be here today. He is at work due to Mr. Larry Hankin's schedule. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with Alan's. But have no fear. I think this conversation was hilarious. It made me laugh, and it was a good episode to start Season 9, the Reza Riffs. This would be a good time to subscribe on Apple Podcast. Rate and review. If you liked the show, tell us what you liked about it. If you didn't like the show, tell us you didn't like it. We need more reviews. Doesn't matter. I don't delete the negative reviews. I feel negative reviews help the show. But obviously, we love positive reviews. So, if you like the show, give it some feedback. Say, hey, Keith Reza is a funny dude. Alan Lee's a nice dude. Reza Riffs, baby. If you didn't like the show, say, hey, Keith Reza's an annoying guy. Don't like him. Alan Lee's an annoying guy. Don't like him. That's fine. As long as it's your feedback and it's 100% honest. All right, guys, we're gonna rock and roll with Larry Hankin. You've known Larry Hankin from shows such as Friends, Seinfeld, Breaking Bad, which is one of my favorites. I also know him from the movies, like Billy Madison, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Home Alone. That's a great one. And the Oscar nominee, the Oscar nominee 10-minute film, Sully's Diner. So, yeah, guys, enjoy. I had a great time talking to Larry, and I'm pretty sure he had a good time on this. And enjoy Reza Riffs with Larry Hankin.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
All right, this is Reza Riffs with Larry Hankin. Alan Lee's not here today. We're doing this via Zoom. It's going to be fun, man. Larry went to go get coffee or something. I'm waiting patiently. This is rock and roll.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah, sure. Let's start.
Cool.
See what happens. Oh, I got to put my earphones on. Wait a minute. Okay, cool.
You ready?
As I'll ever be.
Well, Larry, thank you so much for doing this.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're a tough guy to get a hold of. I tried your agent. I tried you even on Cameo, and then Facebook finally did the trick, I guess.
We spoke to content. Wow. I mean, I don't know how to contact me, frankly. So that's news to me. I'll try it next. I'm not listening to it, so that's why he's hard. It's not you.
You there? Oh yeah, I see you now.
What happened?
I don't know. You're blanking out. Oh, you lost. I lost Larry. Wait, I found Larry. All right, Larry, you're back. I see you now.
Really?
Yeah. What? It was weird. I think the internet's going down or something.
Oh no, I know what a plug came out. A plug came out. That's
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it.
Well, I hate to be rude,
Okay.
but I didn't catch anything you said. What I said was you're a hard man to get a hold of because I tried your agent, I tried on Twitter, I tried even on Cameo, and Facebook did the trick.
Oh well. What I said was a lot of really funny, pertinent stuff, but I can't remember that. So I'll tell you what happened is I'm not easy to get a hold of, even for me to get. I mean, it's just that's how it is. I don't know much about the internet.
Yeah.
That's the key. So I'm not posted and I don't know how to do it because I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's just,
I don't think I don't respect the internet, frankly. I could do without it and it would be fine. I don't think business could do without it, but
yeah.
personal people can. They'll be fine without internet. It's just too much, man.
Oh
Too
no.
much information, you know.
I agree, and like you're also like a older generation comic. So like
Yeah.
when you started, it was all about word of mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So my generation, and then it's a useful language, but it's like learning another language. You have to learn digital, and
Yeah.
I balked at learning Spanish in high school. So I mean, you're dealing with a ne'er-do-well.
Now, there's I don't know if this is true, but there's a rumor that I actually know this isn't true because I've seen you like do little guest sets at like little venues, but the last time you did comedy, someone tried to attack you with a beer bottle.
That was near though. I wasn't the
Yeah.
very last time, but that started it. Yeah, I made a phone call about that. Yeah, I was. I started out as just an ordinary stand-up comedian. I now consider myself and call myself. I'm not a stand-up comic. That's what everybody calls me. That's what I started out as.
Yeah.
But I prefer the title of a stand-up social anthropologist is what I am, frankly. So that's where I'm coming from. But I morphed into that. I started up as a stand-up comedian, and that was fine. You talk about television. Hey, did you see that commercial last night? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, my father, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I was in school. I started to morph away from that into the critical thinkers of, Lenny Bruce and George Carlin, Richie Pryor. And that's when the guy with the beer bottle came at me and said, get the fuck off the stage and bring on the Kingston Trio. And I thought, oh, I see. There's different audiences. So I was opening for Miles Davis, and that was cool. And I was opening for the Lovin' Spoonful, and that was weird.
Yeah.
And then I was opening for the Kingston Trio and Woody Allen, and not my audience, not my audience. But when I hit my audience, that was cool.
Yeah.
I did the Playboy clubs and all that 60s stuff, you know, but I didn't have television material, which was my downfall. So I became an actor. Fuck it.
When you did the Playboy Club, was Hugh Hefner and all the Playboys there?
Yeah. I was on the Playboy TV show, interviewed by Hugh Hefner and all the bunnies.
Oh, how was that? Was that cool?
It was awful. And I'll tell you why. It was my fault, but I was very naive. I probably still am. But I really didn't know what was going on, man. I had no idea about professionalism or, you know, because I was a funny kid in high school, so I would just, you know, talk to somebody for a couple of minutes and they'd be laughing. And I thought, well, so I can make a living at this. Okay, cool. So I quit college and I didn't quit, but right after I graduated as industrial designer, I just got up on coffee house stages. You know, Carl Gottlieb was my best friend, and he wrote Jaws, you know, eventually. Yeah. So we were buddies. So, you know, he would be out reviewing movies and I'd be getting up on coffee house stages. We were roommates, getting up on coffee house stages. And it's not and I discovered, lo and behold, it's not the same as just, you know, hanging with friends and just, you know, making people laugh and poking fun and mocking. I'm a mocker, basically. Yeah. And so you're just mocking people, but that's not how it works when you get on the stage. People want to laugh. I mean, they paid, you know, a cover charge. They got a date here. What's going on, man? I want to get laid. This is not working. You know, so they come at me with a bit because they weren't critical thinkers.
Right.
You know, I mean, I was doing well until I started to say, hey, wait a minute, you know, I can actually talk about real stuff, you know. Sex, politics, and religion, you know, rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly.
And they weren't going for it. So cops were pulling me off the stage and stuff. And I thought, you know, I'm a middle-class Jewish kid. I can't. And I wasn't even doing drugs. You know, like Lenny was, you know, being busted and he, you know, died, I guess, of an OD along with Elvis. And so, you know, but I wasn't even doing drugs. And so I couldn't put that together. Why are cops taking me off the stage? I'm not doing drugs yet. Yet. I always say, you know, give me a year, you know, give me. But they were taking me off because of what I was saying, which I didn't understand. I thought Lenny was being taken off the stage because he was doing drugs. No, that was a secondary offense. He was taken off the stage for saying, you know, what he was saying, whatever it was, talking about it.
Exactly.
That's what he was talking about drugs and other things, but on the same level of no-nos. So, you know, I called my agent. I said, hey, man, you know, a guy just came at me with a beer bottle upside down across the dance floor. It was a nightclub. Get the fuck off the stage, you know, bring on the Kingston Trio. You know, okay, not my audience. Thank you very much. Good night. And I just got off the stage. I mean, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter, you know. So I quit. Well, I was fired, and before he could fire me, I quit. So because of that, like I got off the stage. Hey, the Kingston Trio, you know, got 20 more minutes. Get back out there. No, get him out of there.
You didn't do the 10 o'clock show.
What?
You didn't do the 10 o'clock show.
I didn't do the 10 o'clock show for the rest of the week, for the rest of my life. No more 10 o'clock show. No more 8 o'clock shows for you, Larry. It was Jack's on the Highway. I remember the nightclub. Jack's on the Highway outside of Boston. In the middle of a snowstorm, I walked out into a snowstorm, which was really embarrassing. You know, okay, fuck you. Fire me. You can't fire me. I quit. I'm not going back out there. And I just walked out, you know. Yeah. And it was a snowstorm, so I had to come back in and use their phone. So it's kind of embarrassing, you know. Yeah. You know, I'm quitting, but no, I just want to use your phone and call a taxi.
Because Uber wasn't around back then.
No Uber, no Lyft, no bicycles, nothing, man. A snowstorm.
Do you think that, like a question I had for you is, do you think like how it's a little funny how like topics you were talking about in your comedy days were considered taboo, but now it seems like that's what everyone's talking about.
You have to curse and be naked fucking somebody before you can get on stage now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like,
just it all stops you out. There's nothing else to talk about but bullshit, Hey, did you see the commercial last night? Hey, that was really funny, man. Hey, did you see, late night last night? Boy, hey, did you see Saturday Night Live? Wow, were they weird? Gosh, they're so far out. Wow.
did you ever audition for SNL?
No. One time I wanted to, when you're starting out, you just want to work.
Because you did Second City, so that's.
I did Second City, and we started the committee. A couple of us just ran away from. They weren't good enough. They weren't smart enough.
Yeah.
So we went to San Francisco and opened the committee. And the reason I got into, which is why that's why I quit. Well, my manager was Woody Allen's manager.
Okay.
Jack Rollins. I mean, he's the biggest. They were. Charlie Chaffee. But I called him. I said, "Hey, man, a guy just came out with a beer bottle." I mean, the cops I could put up with because they weren't going to hurt me. Really, they were very nice because I think at that time, this is like 62, 63. I was a young kid. I think they didn't know why they were pulling me off the stage. In other words, the owner or the dean of a college, which was the Loving Spoonful,
right.
The dean of the college called the cops on me because I was talking about penises and breasts.
Wow.
Cocks and Johnsons and boobs.
Yeah.
I was talking about whatever. And so the dean and the students too, that I couldn't understand. That blew my mind. The students started, when I started to talk about critical thinking stuff, body parts and drugs and politics and religion and God, they would boo. That it blew my mind. So I talked to them. I said, "Hey, wait a minute. Stop. They were pulling off the armrests of the seats. This is an arena, like an old-fashioned arena. So these wooden seats you get in like high schools.
Right.
With an armrest. They were pulling, if you hit them forward, they'll come off. They'll slide. They were throwing them at me.
What?
They
Really?
didn't have bottle. No, man, get off the stage, man. And I go, whoa. I thought, because I was opening for the Loving Spoonful. So
Right.
hey, man, this is rock, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. What is wrong with you? You're college students. Haven't you got the word, man?
Yeah.
And they shut up and they were listening to that. Me hollering at them. What are you, crazy? This is sex, drugs, rock and roll. You're in college. You should be loving this stuff. You're here for the spoonful, So they shut up. So I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "All right, great. Thank you very much." Now, about breasts. God. No, it was the word God. I said, "Okay, so let's get back to God." Boo! They start to, and then because they had the lights on, they put the arena lights on now because now they had some vandals on the stage there. I saw in the back, no girls threw anything. I could see the whole thing. Only guys. But in the back, the guys in the back, because the first 3 rows had used up all their armrests, and then the 5th row was too far away. There's too much away. So the guys in the back, well, I guess all of them, but the guys in the back had the best idea, and then it spread. They were pulling off their armrests and passing them down to the guys in the first 2 rows. Crowd thinking, man. It's pretty cool. Very good, So then the cops came, but again, it was like a phalanx, 10 cops on each wall aisle. Came up on both sides of the stage, and they came up and they just put their hands on my shoulders and they said, "Let's go." And I went, you're not going to fight with 20 policemen on the stage.
Yeah.
And the crowd is cheering, "Yay, yay." And the Loving Spoonful off in the wings going, "No, stay out there, do your stuff." Because they wanted a riot. They wanted the publicity,
Yeah.
So they were, no, stay out there. So they were booing the cops as they took me off stage. Boo, 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 boo. Just, so they just stood there. And the reason that I thought, well, they didn't really know, it was because they had no anger. they just, came up on the stage and somebody said, take that guy off the stage. So they said, we have to take you off the stage. They explained it to me. They said, we have to take you off the stage. Come on. So I went, okay, fine. And blah, blah, blah. And I go backstage. So then 18 of them split and they left 2. I said, why are you here? We were just standing in an empty backstage.
Yeah.
And we go, why? And they were, the crew was setting up the music for the band. Why are you here? They go, we have to stand here and guard you under instructions. We have instructions to stand here and guard you until the Lovin' Spoonful start to play so you don't run out and start again. So I said, is that true? Yes. I said, okay. So we just stood there. I mean, there's no talk. We just stood there until the band started to play. And then they said, okay, thank you, bye. And they just left. So, I mean, there was no animosity. They didn't know, by the time they got there, I wasn't cursing.
Right.
Oh, I think it was, this is what happened. Cursed, they threw the stuff, I stopped. And when I started again, they started to boo again. So I said, okay, I'll do just clean material. In other words, I wanted to just keep going. So, okay, I'll just do clean stuff. Okay. And they quieted down and I did, whatever I could pick that was clean, hunks that were clean. So I did, but I ran out of hunks, and I had 15 more minutes to go, which was now all that was left was the filthy stuff.
Yeah.
So I started to do that. And again, now they got really pissed because they thought I had, fucked with them.
Yeah.
I had fooled them, this was a plan of mine. I get them to calm down and then I really do the dirty stuff. So they really that's when the cops started to come down. They obviously were standing in the back. By the time they got there, I was doing clean stuff. Yeah. So they were standing back there going, well, he's not doing anything that we can, why should we do this? But then I started and they go, oh, okay. They came up. But again, they weren't. So I called my agent. I said, I can't go through. That's when I said, literally, I said, look, I'm a middle-class Jewish kid and I'm not doing drugs yet, so I can't do this anymore. Guy, the other day, the guy came with me with a bottle. So he said, my agent, Jack said, join Second City. They're doing the same thing as all those other guys, like Lenny and Richie, but they own the theater, so they can throw that guy with the bottle out. So I said, okay. So I joined Second City. I mean, I auditioned. Actually, I auditioned with Robin Williams. He was an unknown too, but he was still wearing the white, bib overalls and the rainbow suspenders. And, so I knew it was him. I'd seen him on television. And he went to another company and I went south.
Yeah. Well, what was that like from the transition from stand-up to improv? Because with comedy, there's a joke structure, and improv, you could do whatever. No,
well, I mean, yes, there is a joke structure, but no, not me, because Lenny and Richie and George does epiphanies. He doesn't do comedy. He does epiphanies. And he just says something and you go, wow. But Richie and George and Lenny, and Bill Burr. I mean, there's a certain that we tell stories. We don't tell jokes. Bill doesn't tell jokes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he just vents, man.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
And the other guys too, Lenny too, would just tell his day about what what he was doing, his wife, his girlfriend, his ex-wife, and stuff he did, and his adventures. He told stories, life stories, which were really funny. So going from stand-up, by that time, I was a storyteller, into improv, no, it's the same thing. You go with the flow. I would go with the flow of what my day was, and I would just tell something that was interesting to me. And if it was interesting to me, it was funny to them because I would get into it. I would really had pay attention. So it was all memory and stuff like that. And improv basically is all from the inside of your head. There is no scripts, but it's a now thing. There's no lag time between what I saw on the bus today and my show tonight.
Exactly.
Improv is you got to do it now. You're on the bus now. Do it now.
Kind of like this.
And
Like,
well, but they teach you.
Yeah.
And I'm a learning freak. You know, if you put me in a learning situation, I'm cool. You know, I want to know how to do this, and I'm not afraid to fuck up. I'm not afraid to be wrong. You know,
Yeah.
Hey man, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Okay, let's do it again. And then, but they teach you that in Second City, and I had Viola Spolin, who was she's like the Lee Strasberg of improv. I mean, she invented it.
Yeah.
She invented improv, and her son Paul Sills opened Second City. That's why his mom was doing. Actually, it was children's theater where she invented improv. She was having kids do kids games to loosen them up, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So she would give them a little, assignment. Well, why don't you pretend to be a bus driver? Why don't you pretend to be a lady and get on the bus? And she would start to see, because she started to work out. She's like a teacher, really. She was like a born teacher, a natural born teacher.
Yeah.
So she would start to see, wait a minute, in these particular games, if I shift the focus of the game, like, instead of you pretending to be, why don't you start to be a bus driver and you start to be a lady getting online, and then you be mad and you be happy, okay? And at the end of the scene, you be mad and you be happy. So just talk about you're a bus driver, you're a lady, and you're happy, and try to get mad at him. And you're mad at her, but try to get happy about her in the scene. And she would do that. And the kids, these are 14, 15-year-old kids who blow her mind. Holy cow, man, that's real. Because it's in there. It's all in there. It's just you have to find out how to tap it. But you know everything you have to know forever. Yeah. You'll never get to it by the time you die. It's too much shit in there. But
that's like the cool thing, because it changes the dynamics in a scene or something, so like you could like do that.
Well, yeah, and then there's there's a lot of things that you don't do in real life, like no denial.
Right.
You cannot deny. And if I say I'm a fireman and I cut my finger off, you got to believe that. There's no, oh no, I can see your finger there. No, it's none of that shit. The audience is, what the fuck is going on? Does he have a finger or doesn't he? So exactly. There's no denial, and there's always agreement. In other words, if I say that, then that becomes real for the rest of the scene. If I say I don't have a finger, for the rest of the scene, you know. Okay, so, and there's various games, but she started to see these games, and then she started to, her son was a director, just a regular theater director. Right. But she started to share this information with him, and he said, well, what if I did it with people who are adults, the same games? And I read her first book. Viola's wrote a book about this children's theater. It was a children's theater book about this. And Paul Sills, her son, just took that book and started just using these children's games on Severin Darden, Mike Nichols and Elaine May, Alan Arkin. Yeah. I mean, people who are fucking brilliant in front. And now he's teaching them how to
be more brilliant.
And aim it. And so he taught these. That's where Mike Nichols and Elaine May came from, Viola Spolin's kids book and children. And that's where I come from. Yeah. So it was easier, much easier. First of all, the audience is there to see you, the show, and what you have to say. Whether or not you're doing drugs or talking about God or politics or what the fuck. Are you cogent? Are you brilliant? Yeah. Are you right on, man? Are you critically thinking? Right. Is this the truth? Are you laying it on me? That's all. And I'm laughing. Yeah. All at the same time. Great. And you're not denying anybody on the stage. If he says he doesn't have a finger, cool. I believe it. I will buy it. If you say this guy doesn't have a head, I'm buying it.
Right.
Okay. I'm talking to you, but you don't have a head. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Now, how did how did those skills translate for like when you started doing movies and stuff? Like,
It didn't.
Was it
For
didn't?
me, it didn't. You know, can I say anything I want?
Yeah.
No. What are you, fucking crazy? This is a 10-pole movie. So who hired it? I would get that.
Yeah.
No, you can't say anything you want. Or can I just change this word here? No. Now, so I had a very difficult time. And the other thing, though, I was talking to the camera like I was on stage.
Okay.
I was talking, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, what are you doing? In other words, I'm a good learner,
Right.
but I'm a very bad discarder.
Okay.
So I'm a bad unlearner. So I couldn't dump the stage improv learning. I couldn't.
Right.
It was hard for me. I would get it because I guess I was funny enough, to get one or two auditions. I was trying to see what other people. I would listen at the door. I would talk to, but what I wanted most of all in the beginning, to make it easy, I wanted to be in on an audition to see, because I never took acting lessons. I'm not an actor.
Right.
So I never wanted to be an actor. I didn't even have that wish. So I wanted to sit in an audition and see other actors audition to see what it was like. I think I took a class, but the class was so overly teaching,
Right.
And I'm also, by the way, which kind of explains everything I've been saying up until now. I'm dyslexic.
Right.
So a lot of things that you say to me, if it's too much instruction, too much information, that's about the internet, too much information. If you're giving me too much information that I can't quite grok, it all falls apart.
Oh no, I get that. I have autism called Asperger's.
There you go. I have partly that. That's exactly.
Yeah. So
you
like
understand.
When someone does that, I'm like three things at once. It's like, so I focus on the first thing.
And then I'll drop even that, and then I have to reconstruct it. Like if you and I were going to write something or create something, we discuss it, and you say, "Hey, how about if we put wings on it?" And I go, "Wow, that's like a great idea." I know now. I mean, having lived with me most of my life, the next day after sleeping on it, I'll wake up and go, "Fuck that! That's a stupid idea about the wings, man. What the fuck did I say?" And this happens constantly, where my mind will reconstruct not what you said,
Right.
but my thinking that was a great idea, because the industrial design thing, I got an A. I was an A student in industrial design, which basically is you're an inventor.
Right.
They teach you how to invent. You have to not only design a new electric screwdriver, those, or drill, an electric drill, a hand drill. You have to not only redesign it so it's more ergonomic and it fits your hand better, but then you have to redesign the internal works to fit your design, because we can't get the internal works into your fucking design, Hankin. I mean, this is, it's 3 inches too small.
Yeah.
First of all, so you have to. So that kind of thinking also comes into play. I can start to reconstruct it. So, but it's me dumping stuff. Well, anyways, dyslexia, Asperger's, right? It's all in the same.
Yeah. It's the same bundle. So
the same bundle, or the same part of the brain, I guess, or whatever. So yeah, I just have to I have to get used to it, but I never really, people don't get used to me in the way I learn. Like I had to learn that if I say yes right now, tomorrow morning, I may just think it's a terrible idea. And so now in writing, I said, well, give me a day to think about it.
Right.
Okay. And then that's fine. And the next day it all comes together and I go, yeah, well, the wings are, how about if we make only one wing? How about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Try that on your plane.
That'd be more creative, like, because the person would have a hard time flying.
Well, yeah, except the reason that I just said what I just said was because last night, talk about the internet and how I just, every once in a while, you go on the internet to your online, AOL, whatever it is, and they have these little news blurbs of about 10 seconds of something that just happened, and you go, oh my God, So I was watching, and they had this little thing, and it says, amazing thing, and it's just how they sucked you in was an airplane is going straight up. It was obviously it was what do you call it?
Rocket?
An acrobatic airplane.
Oh, okay.
One of those one guy. One guy, and they look funny, but it's an acrobatic airplane.
Yeah.
He's going straight up, which is kind of weird and cool. I mean, to be going straight up in the air, just vertical. He's going great up, and then a wing falls off. Boom, and then he just and it just and he's going like this, and the camera is following, and I'm going, why are they showing this? This guy's gonna die. Generally, they don't like to show people dying. So now I'm hooked. Now I got to see this guy crash, or what the fuck? I mean, they just put it on. And he's going, no. And then all of a sudden he starts, and he's falling. It's obvious he's falling. But the one wing, now he's falling only in one way. He's not twisting. He's just falling this way, and the one wing is sticking up. So he's falling sideways and down, and the wing is up. And then you kind of see the camera just goes down a little. You say, wow, he's near the ground now. So this guy's going to die. And he's going to go, and then all of a sudden it starts to flip. And as he flips, just before he hits, he flips where his wheels are down, and he just hits the ground and lands. Just like normal. He just boom, 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 boom. Just before, he just boom. And I thought the whole thing was a trick. And then you can see as he's taxiing, the wing that has been off is facing the camera, and you can see there's a hook there. In other words, he can pull it. He released the wing.
Yeah.
You can see in the attachment hooks. So the whole thing was a trick.
Yeah.
So you can fly or fall with one wing. But basically, he would claim he was flying just in his own particular way. But he landed, and it was cool. So, things are, impossible.
He escaped death, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or he fooled us, is what he's coming. And he said, I didn't escape nothing, man. I was way ahead of you. Yeah. So anyway.
Now, I did have a question about Home Alone, because that's one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Really? Home Alone is pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's one of those movies that's just, it's both well acted, the humor is funny, and you could keep watching it and still laugh every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the same way about another John Hughes movies, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Oh, that's a great one, too.
Fucking, yeah, I mean, John Hughes.
And you were in both of them.
As a matter of fact, yes, I was. I didn't, it never occurred. See, it doesn't occur to me. See, there's the dyslexia. I'm in that too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I like that. I didn't know that. I'm in, I was in 3 of his movies. What was the other one?
Her Baby.
Having her baby. She's having a baby.
She's having a baby. Yeah. The question I had was, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that if Daniel Stern didn't take the part of you were offered the runner-up.
Yeah, I was really pissed about that. I really was. I get pissed about that.
Yeah.
You can tell when you're being called because somebody has been fired.
Right.
And my immediate go-to is, oh, fuck, you want me to replace somebody? Why didn't you hire me in the first place, asshole? I calm down on the way to the audition, but sometimes I don't.
Right.
I mean, I just go in there mad, angry.
Yeah.
And did that with friends. I went in there 3 days later with this. You fucking you why didn't you? And I go in there and I yelled at them. But anyway, what was the one that you're talking about? Is
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Yeah, but see, those guys, because the producers, John Hughes wrote it, but he wasn't producing. I mean, he was producing, but he never was around. It was just name only and money. That was all. I just give me my cut, put my name up there. But Christopher Columbus directed it. So in that one, I get the call, and they said, my agent said, okay, I just got a call from another John Hughes movie. You know Daniel Stern? Yeah. Well, he was hired, and he wants more money, and they don't want to pay him the money, so they are thinking about firing him. And John Hughes, the writer, suggested they get me to replace Daniel Stern, which I thought was very nice of John to do that. And so I immediately got pissed because why didn't they hire me in the first place? I mean, I was really angry.
Right.
And this just happens a lot. And so okay. So he says to me, this is what he said, my agent. He says, okay, now here's Daniel Stern wants more money. They don't want to give him the more money. So he's threatening to fire, to quit. If he quits, you're going to replace him. But it's got to be, you got to leave tonight because they're shooting in Chicago. He is shooting tomorrow. They've already shot one of his scenes, so they're going to have to do that over. But that's why they want to get him to quit now. They don't want to shoot any more scenes because if they replace him, that's a lot of money to replace scenes. So you have to be there tomorrow morning to be ready to work. So what you have to do is you have to pack right now. This was in the afternoon. You have to pack right now. And he said this, I don't know why he said this, but it's always stuck with me. You have to pack right now, put your suitcase behind the couch, and wait for a phone call. Why he told me to put my suitcase behind the couch, I have no idea. To this day, I have no idea why he said that, but that's what he said. Oh, this is a big movie. I'm being replaced. There's a lot of money on the line. Put your suitcase behind the couch, okay? All the way behind. Don't let it stick out, So I did all that. Now, he says, sit by the phone and you'll know in an hour whether you have to catch a plane tonight.
Okay.
I did all that. Sat by the phone. An hour later, he says, I get a call. He says, okay, did you put, he didn't say this, but I always wonder, did you put your suitcase behind the couch? Yes, I put the suitcase behind the couch. Okay, it's off. Daniel Stern caved. So he's in the movie, so forget it. You unpack, take it out and unpack. Okay, come on. So it was over. Off, he caved, it's over. So now I'm thinking, man, I have now wasted 4 hours of my life.
Right.
From the phone call to the phone call. I'm thinking, I got this. They gotta, Daniel, don't cave. Ask for more money. Don't be a chicken shit, man. Hold your ground. You're the
They're
man.
Screwing
Daniel.
us.
Yeah, you're the man, Daniel. You're the man. You got this. You got this. They can't. You're in the can already. They can't fire you. So okay. So then you what I do and what every actor, you just dump it and you go on with your life. Okay. About 2 weeks later, I get another call from my agent. Hey, Larry, remember the Daniel? Oh, man, don't tell me this. Now what? Well, now what? He goes, no. They really feel bad about what they did to you, about telling you to wait and then saying no, because it was such a big part and it's such a big movie. It's going to be such a big movie. I mean, they knew that. It's John Hughes,
Right.
So they thought, and this is what my agent told me, he said they thought that by them doing that to you, basically screwing you around for 4 hours, and then they thought about this, that they feel that they've put a curse on the movie. Really, he said that.
Yeah.
That they feel that they put a kibosh on the movie. It's just bad luck for them to do that to another actor of your stature. I don't know if it was like that, but in other words, I was going to be a co-star with Joe Pesci.
Right.
So that's what they were thinking. I was thinking, well, it's just me. They don't give a fuck about me. But they were thinking, we got to get somebody to be with Joe Pesci. So that's why they felt guilty.
Yeah.
Because they had it big, and I just, okay, forget it. Another part. So they said, so they want to make a deal with you. Oh, really? What's the deal? Okay. They want you in the movie as payback for what they did to you. So, but they don't have any parts left. It's all been cast. They can't fire somebody just to hire another person. They can't do that. They only have one part left, and it's a very small part. And there's only 3 lines, but they're very apologetic about that. It's not that they're giving you 3 lines, it's that they're trying to apologize for screwing you around. So they want to put you in the movie. That's why they're doing it. And they apologize for the small part. Would you even consider it? I said, well, I don't know, man. It's a small part. Nobody's going to know about the apology or anything like that. They're just going to see, and they're not going to know about me and Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern and the whole deal. So I don't really want to do it. He said, well, they're willing to make it up to you because they thought that's what you'd say. So they're willing to fly you there first class. They'll pick you up in a limo both ways, drop you off. They'll be ready for you to shoot. It'll be in the morning. You leave tonight. They'll pick you up in a limo. You'll fly first class there. In the morning, you're the first shot. They'll set up for you. And they'll also pay you to do those 3 lines, $10,000. Would you be willing to do it? You fucking bet. Yeah, let's do this. $10,000 for 3 lines? Let's go. A limo, first class? I haven't flown first class in years, man.
That was a lot of money in the time, too.
$10,000 is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back then. Now it's shit. I wouldn't do it for $10,000 if you paid me. So I said yes, and sure enough, man, a couple hours later, white limo, pulled up in front of my apartment. I try to, let everybody see this, and I hopped into the limo, flew first class all the way, limo there, Mr. Hankin at the airport, and limo to the thing. They were all but here's the kicker. The kicker. One of the things on the phone, he said, and $10,000. And I said, yeah, are you kidding? Let's do it. And he said, okay, then there's one other request that they have for you. What is it? Do you want any props or anything like that? They have the uniform, they have your sizes because of other movies that you've done for John. But do you want any props or anything like that? They really, really open to you. They really feel cursed.
Right.
They're really trying to make amends. I said, yeah, give me, I want 1 glazed donut. That's my prop. He said, okay, fine. You got it. So, and then he called me back. He said, yeah, everything's set. You're doing it. They're ready for you. Okay, boom. Okay. So I land, I get there, and I go into and they say, all right, we're all set. They got the set. They got the camera. It's all focused already. They had a stand-in for me already before I got there. So it's all measured.
All right.
And they said, you can, and the other thing they said on the phone, and that's why I'm telling you this, is they said that you're the first shot. If you want, you can then get back in the limo. They'll fly you back to the airport. You fly first class back in the afternoon, and you can sleep in your own bed the same day. So it's just there, shoot, back. We don't want to bother you. And I said, that's great. What's the prop? 1 glazed donut. So I go, I change, get back in, and next to the camera is a baker's rolling tray. Those big 6 foot, they're about 6 foot, and they have about 20 or 30 trays in it, and they have all the donuts on it. They had one of those next to the camera filled with glazed donuts. 250 glazed donuts, all on a tray, right next to the camera. And they said, "Is this what you were talking about?" And they said with a smirk on their face. I said, "Wow, man, yeah, that's cool."
I just
but,
wanted
you know,
one.
yeah, I just wanted one. And he said, "That's what I said. I just wanted one." He said, "Well, we may have to do a second take."
So you get another one.
Yes, that's a little producer's humor there. So, yeah, that's now they're trying to show off to me is basically what they're
Right.
Yeah, which is fine, man. You know, it's cool. Respect. So now here's the weird part. Luckily, they had 250 glazed donuts. Why? Because I had to do that scene, 3 lines, 11 times, not because of me, but because of technical difficulties. One time, one of the lights, these Hollywood lights, these big lights, we were shooting indoors, you know, exploded and rained down, you know, glass on us. So we had to clean that up. Then one time the camera jiggled. Another time the camera went off the dolly, fell off the dolly. That seemed impossible, but that's what happened. 11 things happened. And on the 10th time, it was like a joke for a little while, you know, like
Right.
1 through about 8. But on the ninth and 10th times, I saw it, nobody was laughing or joking. And the 2 producers who were joking about, "Hey, maybe we'll have to do 2 takes, you know, hey, here's your donuts." They were grim because they thought, "Oh my God, the shoot is cursed."
Right.
And that's what was going through my mind. I thought, is it me or because I wasn't doing anything wrong, but the scene was going down the tubes, man.
Uh,
And, you know, it's just a slow dolly shot, you know, like this across, you know. "Hey, Rose, hyper on 2. I'll never forget that line, you know, because what was going on. And so I did take 9, a fuck up. Take 10, a fuck up. Now they're going crazy, man. Now they don't know what to do. And I said, "And let's do it again." Okay, so we do it 11th time. And, you know, generally there was a cut each time right before the end. Cut, oh, fucking the camera went up to dolly, blah, blah. The 11th time it goes all the way through and I heard cut. And I thought, yes, we got it, you know? And it going. He says, "Larry," and then everybody, that was in my head, you know, yes. They just said, "Cut." And everybody fell down laughing. The crew and everybody. Well, you know, like they were holding it in until somebody said cut and and I go, "Oh shit, now I fucked up." Because, you know, no technical thing. They're laughing, dyslexia, I did something stupid, you know?
Yeah.
And I go, and Christopher Columbus comes, he says, "I got to show you this." He said, no, let's just do it again real quick. Come on, let's just get this over with, man. I want to go home. He says, no, I got to show you this. And he drags me over to the TV village, you know, and he says, "Roll that last take. Roll the last take." And I'm watching it and it's just going fine, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then I see there's one piece of thing and it sticks to the phone. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, "Oh, fuck. All right, that's me. All right, let's just do it again real quick." And Columbus says, no, that's going in the movie. Are you kidding? You're going home. And I thought, wow, man. And it was funny. I thought, yeah. Everybody was laughing. And to this day, people say, "How did you manage? Is that a CGI drop? Or how did you get that to drop on the thing?" And I wanted to know myself. I really did. Because each time there was a take, even when there was a fuck up, but I was eating a donut and there was crumbs that fell on the desk there. You know, you're eating a donut. So they had a guy each time come and clean it up. So I knew that nothing was sticking to the phone. It was all falling down. Why did one big heavy piece? That's a big piece you could see.
Yeah, it was a big piece. Yeah.
And I took industrial design and we're into physics. You know, I mean, it's just an old flashback thing, but I really did want to know how come all the light crumbs didn't stick, but the big heavy one did. So I went over to the tray and I looked, and you know those big lights and the one that even broke, they replaced it, but they're hot. And I remember the shoot being very, very hot, and I was in a cop uniform. and I was sweating. And I looked at the tray, and all the glaze on the donuts had melted to a very gluey substance.
Right.
So when that big piece had glaze on it, it was now melted like glue, and that's what's there. So that's like anticlimactic, but at least I found out what the trick was, because people have asked me, how was it CGI, or was there a wire? How did you do that? And I never knew that everybody who loves that movie, and it's millions all over the world, and
Right.
when I travel, they ask me about that movie, especially around Christmas. They all want to know, how did you do that donut thing with this falling on the phone? And it never occurred to me that anybody would have even noticed that, except, the crew and me and the director.
Yeah.
But that is a big part of that movie, is that I always would say that to this day, that crumb is more famous than I am.
I don't know about that.
Because of, well, I mean, whether or not it's true, it's
Yeah.
apocryphal.
Yeah.
I mean, because everybody who asks me about that movie asks me about that crumb. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That will go in my biography. If I ever have a biography, that crumb is going to be, on page 137.
Now, did your comic mind during these takes, after fuck up, was it going in your head like, haha, that's what you fuckers get? For like that?
No, because I also, maybe it's because of my father, maybe it's because of dyslexia, but I am driven to not fuck up. I am driven
Right.
to do my very best. If I don't think I've done my very best, it bugs me. And I do always watch what I did once. If it goes on the air, I'll watch it. I don't have to watch the whole program. I'll just watch me, just to see if I accomplished either what I wanted to do. I'm not looking to see the fuck up, because if you fucked up, they don't put it in the movie. So there's none of that.
Yeah.
I want to see, which, by the way, is a great thing to remember if you ever become a movie actor. You can fuck up all you want. It'll never get on screen.
Yeah.
If you're worried about looking bad. No, the editor only makes you look good. If you look bad, they just cut to somebody else. I mean,
Or put in the outtakes or whatever.
Or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I've had my outtakes put in because I was so good.
Yeah.
That they went through the bin. The director came and said, the producers claimed they had what was it for? It was for
Probably Planes, Train, and Automobiles. I saw some outtakes on that on the.
No, it was Kowalski. It was Armed and Dangerous.
Armed and Dangerous. Okay.
In Armed and Dangerous, Kowalski, this crazy guy on acid that I played. The director, I guess I was like a method actor. The director, who was James, the James brothers, he's a brother, James. He thought that I was on acid the whole time. I wasn't. I was just acting.
Right.
But I was acting like Kowalski was on acid all the time. And the director, who only seen, I wouldn't hang around with him. I thought he was not a good director.
Right.
So I would avoid him. So I wasn't around him. So
Right.
I never talked to him. So he only saw me when I was doing my part, and he thought I was on acid because he didn't see me talking to John Candy and just hanging.
Yeah.
He did see me on acid. So he would avoid me. So I would avoid him because I didn't like him, and he would avoid me because he thought I was on acid. So he would always talk loud and slow to me. Okay, Larry, would you go over there and just, do that, okay? Why is he talking loud to me? I found out months later.
Yeah.
I spoke to him and he said, oh, geez, I'm sorry. I thought you were on acid. So I was right. You are not a good director. So, okay. So, but at one point, is it? I can't remember. But anyway, okay. So he at one point, they were handing out guns and flashlights.
Okay.
They were handing out guns and flashlights. So I thought it would be really, really cool as an actor. I thought the guy's on acid. If you hand him a gun, even if it's not loaded, and a flashlight with a battery in it, if you do that to somebody with acid, if you do that with me on acid, what I would do is I would turn the flashlight on and look into it. That's what I would do if I was on acid. So that's what I did. So I, I'm online and I'm the second person, and then John Candy is right behind me. So I'm going to the table. The guy, he gets his gun, flashlight. Next, gives me a gun, flashlight. And I walk off stage. Cut! This bad director comes over to me and he says, "What are you doing?" Now, I get that a lot from directors.
Right.
"Larry, come here. What are you doing?" I go, "Well, I'm doing blah, blah, blah." Because I'm an improv guy. I'm a little
Right.
ahead of other actors, especially if I have a smaller role. Because, if you got a smaller role, you just say your words and you go home. You get your money, you go home. I mean, that's what everybody does. That's what I do. But because I like to do good and I'm in improv, I work on it a little. I think, well, in between my two lines or whatever I have, I could do this and that would be funny. I invent a joke, a little thing. So that's what I was doing. Boom. So with the flashlight, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm on acid." I said that. I'm on acid, and I wanted to look into the light. Now, when I say I'm on acid, I'm talking for the character. I'm on acid, and I'm looking at the flashlight. That's what people on acid do. And he says, "I think it's funny." He says, "It's not funny." I go, "Yes, it is funny." He said, "Don't do it." And John Candy is standing behind me. He's like a co-star of this movie. He leans over, he says, "James, it's funny. It really is funny." John was my friend. He was always sticking up for me because he was a star and I was just nobody. Yeah. So he goes, "No, that's funny." He says, "It's not funny." It was John Candy. And now, what's his friend, the other guy, with the black hair, I don't know, from Second City. He was in it too. He comes over and he says, "No, it is funny. It's not going in. It's not funny. Let's go on. Just do the scene again, Larry. Don't look into the light." Uh-huh. Okay. So we line up again, and now the cinematographer, who's a big deal cinematographer, he's big time. Yeah. So they're important. He says, "We shoot the scene." I don't do that. He says, "All right, moving on," the director says. And the cinematographer says, "Wait a minute, what happened to Larry looking into the flashlight?" So he says, "It's out." He says, "Why?" He says, "Because it's not funny." And the cinematographer says, "It's very funny. Yeah. It should go in." He says, "Well, it's not going in." He said, "I'm sorry, it's funny. It should go in." And he's taking a stand, man. I've never seen this done on a movie. And the director says, "No, it's not going in. That's it." And the cinematographer pulls the director to a side, and they're just having words. Yeah. And the director says, "All right, we're just going to try it once more." And the cinematographer says, "Can I have all the crew working who's not involved in this scene? Would you stand around the set?" So it's like, 10 guys who, have nothing to do with the scene. They're gaffers, and they just surround the thing. And he says, "We're going to shoot this movie. We're going to shoot this scene again. I just want you guys to watch it." So now everybody's come over now because now nobody knows what's going on. So now all the extras come around and they're around the set. And he says, "All right, let's just shoot it." So we shoot it, and I do, Larry, do the flashlight, boom. And then we do the scene and cut, and everybody falls down laughing. And the cinematographer says, "They're laughing. And so the director says, all right, moving on. So that was it. And it's in the movie.
Huh.
But I mean, to go through shit like that is like weird. Now, to get to, I guess what your point is, I don't know if it's my dyslexia half the time, or if it's the crew, or I did something funny and that guy thinks it's funny and that guy doesn't think it's funny. I mean, it's just weird being out there because I have so many problems myself, challenges. Sorry. I have so many challenges myself that half the time I don't know what's going on anyway. It has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
It's fighting over what's funny. I mean, in the garbage dump scene, thank God the director wasn't even there. That was a second unit crew, but it was John and me and his friend there. I can't remember. He does, Schitt's Creek. He's a star of Schitt's Creek. They were giving me funny shit to do on the garbage dump.
Right.
Like it was John Candy who gave me the shoe, and I had a comb. I said, hey, I found this comb. He said, how you doing, Kowalski or something, whatever his name. How you doing? And I said, I found this pink comb, man. I said, this is a treasure trove. This crazy guy. And Candy on screen, as part of his character, says, hey, well, we found the shoe. This was he was just ad-libbing.
Right.
Said, hey, Kowalski, we found the shoe up on top of that mound. And then I turn around, I'm improvising with him now. And I say, why, up there? And he goes, yeah, up there. And then I climbed up there and they filmed me climbing up there. And then, son of a gun, if there wasn't the shoe, or maybe I found the shoe climbing up there. But when I got up to the top, I planted it, and I go, right. Hey, you're right. I found this shoe. If you find another shoe, let me know. Okay.
Right.
So again, there was John just giving me funny stuff to do. That whole scene is John Candy directing me. And since it was a second unit, they just did what John said,
Yeah.
It's acting is weird. I'm not an actor. I don't know what's going on. Have you ever seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie?
Yeah, with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a scene in the movie where they're fighting and talking and shooting at one another, right? And there's a bang, bang, and I really like you, but I don't like you, and I hate you, and bang, bang, and blah, blah, blah. And they're just going and dancing and fighting. Okay, to me, that's acting.
Yeah.
That's what acting. I can't do all that. It's too confusing. But that's acting. Actors do complicated things while they talk. I don't know what that is. I can't do that. Give me one thing or the other.
That movie is Jennifer Aniston's least favorite movie.
I guess. They fell in love with that one. Yeah. Well, I guess it's Angelina Jolie's least favorite movie now. And Brad Pitt's. Like, nobody in either of their three entourages are allowed to see that movie.
But Vince Vaughn loves it. Larry, I want to respect your time, but I do have one last question.
I got all the time in the world. Yeah, go ahead.
I was curious about the paintings behind you, which the audience can't see, but I was curious. Did you paint those?
Yeah, those are my paintings.
Oh,
those are my two favorites.
Oh.
And I have one over here. Can you see that? This one, it's right above here. It's an elephant, big elephant. If you want to see that, fans of Keith, you can go to thereallarryhankin.com, and it's got all my paintings on it. Plus, all my paintings are on T-shirts. So you got T-shirts, paintings, and I make funny little videos, little film shorts. Some of them are on there. So there's a lot of stuff on there. And then there's my friends are on it. Pardon me, are on there. Or you can go to Vimeo. All my films are on Vimeo.
Yeah. Do you enjoy painting more than acting?
More than life itself.
Oh, awesome.
But more than acting, anything I do is more than acting. I mean, do you realize the crap that you have to go through just to get on in front of a working film camera? The
It's probably-
auditions that you have to do, the driving that you have to, the hours in the car driving out to the valley, 45 minutes each way, finding a parking space sometimes because they don't have parking, auditioning, memorizing lines and nights, especially if you have ADHD or Crohn's disease or dyslexia or whatever the fuck you have.
Asperger's.
Asperger's, and it's just, it's impossible. And then you get on, and you're on for what? Maybe less than a minute.
Right.
My first 5 years, I did all that, what I just said to you, for being on in a sitcom for less than 30 seconds in front of a camera. I mean, I know, and then waiting backstage. Okay, so now you finally got the job and you're there and they're filming. You're waiting until you get to your scene. So it's an entire day just to film one scene so you can be on for less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Or even if it's 2 or 3 scenes, so okay, so 20 seconds here, 10 seconds there. Oh, maybe you get a minute. After working a week to film one day on Friday. That's a week. That's like, I would say 2 weeks of work for under a minute of actual appearance.
No, yeah.
For a lot of money.
Yeah. I've only done one movie, and that was my experience, and I had maybe a 5-minute scene in it, but it was dreadful. I hated it.
Yeah. And if you're a star,
yeah,
but if you're a star, you get like hundreds of millions of dollars, but you had to practice for 5-10 years before you get that salary.
Exactly.
And you have to take a lot of crap from I've worked for brilliant geniuses, directors. They're the people I respect.
Right.
Genius directors, and some almost genius directors, but the plethora of directors are pretty stupid.
That's why I love you, Larry. No filter from you.
It's how I make my bones, man.
Well, Larry, so the folks,
I'm up to here.
the folks at home can find you at thereallarryhankin.com.
Yeah, thereallarryhankin.com.
All right, Larry. Hey, thank you so much for saying yes and talking to me. It really meant a lot to me, and it helped me out.
Cool, man. Well, it helped me a lot too. So thank you very much, man.
All right. Bye, Larry.
Okay. Bye.
All right, guys. That was the show with Larry Hankin. And subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcast. And give us some love. Follow Larry. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much. And Alan Lee, you missed a great show. I forgot to ask Larry about Breaking Bad, but what can I say? The conversation was awesome, guys. All right, subscribe, rate, and review Apple Podcast. Share it. We gotta get more listeners. We gotta get more reviews. iTunes and Apple Podcasts, I guess, are merging into a weird direction. So during these tough times, we gotta compete. All right, I love you guys. Also, book me on Cameo, www.cameo.com/Keith Reza. And I'm also, you can buy my stand-up special, Keith Reza, Make It Happen. So buy that on, all the other stuff, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, all that stuff. Buy it, support it, and really help me out until comedy comes back and we're all safe and sound. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay safe. I love you all, and we'll see you guys next time.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.